So this is just a little project I've been working on this morning that I felt was worth sharing. It's basically a test to see if it's possible if you can make melee weapons using the current weapon movement system, like believable melee weapons. Not like just a extremely close range. Well, that's basically what it is. It is basically like an extremely close range weapon with a lot of damage, but it's got the accompanying weapon movements to make it make sense. So this is basically just a chainsaw that I named just test melee, because there's no sword or any other kind of melee weapon models in the files. So this is the closest thing that we have is the chainsaw. But it's basically a chainsaw with crappy sword animations because I am not very good with the weapon movement system, so we get what we get here. So when you swing it or when you run, you can see it kind of moves around. You can see the player kind of holds it like a sword. And when I swing it, it does this. It makes like cool EMP noises and has little lightning effects because just, I guess, because it was cooler than having it be pretty static, I guess. So that's the basic idea. And for a melee weapon is you would use like the procedural weapon movements to replicate like sword swings and stuff like that. And I had to kind of keep the weapon movements toned down a little bit to make it work with sprinting and everything, because when you sprint and you swing a weapon, it goes back into its like original position without weapon movement adjustments. So kind of looks wonky, but at least it still kind of looks believable even when you're running. So that's the idea. It's basically just like a simple sword that uses weapon movements to make itself look kind of believable, pretty much. I'm sure there's somebody out there who could do a better job of this than I could if they played around with it a lot more, or they understood weapon movements better than I did, but this is what we got right now. It also works when crouching. You can see it kind of changes positions when crouching, changes positions when running. So it's basically just a full-fledged melee weapon within the current limitations of the game. So I'm going to spawn some enemies in to show how it works. I'm wearing epic armor right now so that they can't kill me. Here we are, we're going to try this again. I got my health packs. I got my epic armor. I'm actually ready to do the combat test now. Alright. So there's a bunch of Xerax. I gave it some raise spread so that you didn't have to like get a direct hit for it to work. I'm sorry if my game's laggy. I don't really have the best graphics card, so there we go. Yeah, it's pretty fun to use. I kind of like it. Yeah, it's awesome. I like it. There we go. Yeah, there are a couple of limitations. One, obviously, in first person, the animations don't work. So, it's just in first person, it's just the same derpy looking chainsaw animation, kinda. There's really yeah, there's really nothing to it. It's just, yeah, just looks normal. Okay, so the other thing is, there's a lack of models. So, the only really weapon that it kind of makes sense to do this with is the chainsaw. I I don't really know any other models in the game that can be held properly by the player that could do the same thing as the chainsaw did. If there was, then oh my god, that'd be great. Because if there was like a sword model or a spear model or whatever, then you could go crazy with it. But for now, all we've really got is the chainsaw that works like this. The other limitation is because of the way weapon movements work, you can only have one like weapon movements child on an item. So you can't set different weapon movements for different firing functions. So let's say you wanted to have a assault rifle with a melee attack, secondary or something like that instead of a zoom secondary, then it wouldn't really work because if you wanted to have like proper melee animations for that, then all the weapons animations, even when it's just firing normally, like, a normal, when it's firing like a rifle, would have to be those melee animations, which would look really friggin' stupid. So this only really works with like dedicated melee weapons. It can't really work with a weapon that fires like as a rifle for a primary and then you have a bash or something like that. Which sucks, but hey, maybe sometime down the line we'll get both some interesting melee weapon models and the ability to set more than one set of movements for a gun. Could be. I don't know. But for now, this is the best that I could come up with. Maybe somebody else could come up with something cooler now that I've gotten the ball rolling, so to speak. I'm gonna use it one last time and then I'll probably end the video. I just kind of wanted to show this off because I thought it was cool and I've been working on it all morning, so yeah. Totally missed. Yeah, yeah, there's the race spread in effect. I totally missed that guy, but I still got the hits. Oh god, I'm dying. Well, I think that's a good place to end it off. It's fun. It's cool.